Alright, this is going to be a video on my latest puzzle. This is the Megaminx Cutter 3. So, this puzzle was made from a Megaminx, and it is essentially a cutter cube, but instead of opposite faces, it's 3 faces like this. So, go ahead and offset one of these layers by a half turn, and voila, it turns. So you could do that on all faces. And then the puzzle is unbandaged. So you can make these turns. It turns really nicely once the layers are in alignment. So yeah. Now, some of you might be having a little bit of a hard time understanding how this is a Megaminx, because it doesn't look like a Megaminx. So basically, how you would think to make a cutter cube on a Megaminx is like this. And you would shave away and rebuild until this whole thing was offset, and then these two are left. Now, that's a lot of work, and I didn't really like the idea of that, so what I decided to do was offset 3, because we can offset 3. Whoops, no. Like this. So I offset 3 like this, cut away everything to make this face. Let's get the same view here. And then these became combined into one face, and then this mess became 3 faces. So yeah, I really like how this puzzle turned out. Now, I made an absolutely huge mistake while I was making this. It's definitely the worst mistake, and I'm not going to go into too many details. Just say it took 2 hours with a razor saw and then like 5 hours of epoxy sculpting and sanding to get this thing back on track. So yeah, to me this is a lot more impressive than it looks because of how badly it was and how much it got back. Anyways, so yeah, this puzzle has like a lot of different kind of aspects to it. So you got this face, which there is a little corner there, but I couldn't get a sticker on it. Oh well. Now this face has an interesting look. You don't really see something too much like this. And here we have like a cutter cube look, like the 7x7 cutter cube. It kind of reminds me of this, just mini version on these 3 faces. And then obviously you have your Megaminx face. And then you have these, which are very similar. You can see there's kind of a repeat here, and then it changes. And it goes to this corner. Now this corner reminds me a lot of like a helicopter cube, if you think about it. Like, kind of has this sort of going around kind of thing. And it also, even though it doesn't jumble, it kind of still has that feel, I guess, because it has like this, you know, this sort of thing going on. It's not jumbling, but it kind of seems like it's jumbling because you have something with 5, I guess, corners, and it's only going around one, sort of 40, like it's a 90-degree corner, almost, sort of a 90 degrees. So you kind of have like a cube, which has been truncated around the corners and then flattened, sort of. And anyways, it created a really cool shape, I think. Now, this is not actually the shape that you would get by doing what you would expect from a cutter cube. You would cut away and then build up, sort of thing. Now that would result in a lot of faces. So this would dip down and become 2 faces, and I decided to build up and sand down so it just became 1. Flat. And here, if I cut away, you would see that these aren't flat, so you would basically have 3 different faces, and I decided to just squash those down and combine them into 1 face, just because I thought a lot less colors would look pretty cool. Instead of having a bunch of little faces that are just triangles kind of going around with a bunch of different colors, make it look really colorful. Now, I want to do a couple other versions of this. What I really want to do here is to not have these layers offset. So basically start by offsetting the layers, and then once you get your shape established, basically bring these into alignment and then sand those away and build them up. So you have this puzzle, this shape, except these are also offset by 45. Or not 45, but a half turn. Now that would result in a puzzle where you could turn like this axis and stuff from its shape. And I think that would look really, really cool, because you would have a puzzle that, like, yeah, you just don't need to offset it. Yet it still has this awesome shape, and it would still have a pretty cool look to it, I think. Maybe a little more symmetrical. But anyways, yeah, that's the Megaminx Cutter 3. I want to make 3 different versions of this. One where there's these offset, and then one where it's truncated to look kind of like a diamond. Because this has sort of a rough diamond shape almost, but I think it could be a lot more like a diamond. And also one where maybe where I did combine the faces just to see what that would look like, because this is a cool puzzle. But anyways, that's it for the Megaminx Cutter 3. 3 being, of course, how many faces are messed up, I guess, or offset by half turn. Let's go ahead and scramble this. I have not scrambled it yet. Just something for the end. I always have to scramble the puzzle at the end. I don't think I've done it every time, but I'm doing it this time. Yes, as you can see, you get a big jumble mess. I don't know, it's probably going to be at least a challenge to solve. Yeah, I haven't solved something like this before, so no one has. Anyways, you get a pretty standard, completely jumbled mess. That's basically to be expected with these kinds of custom puzzles. Anyways, this looks pretty bad to solve, man. So you have to do it offset by 45. Oof. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and solve this. And, yeah. Jesus. Thanks for watching.